Two prominent senators suffered apparent health scares just 24 hours apart. Earlier today, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein appeared confused at a Senate committee hearing, reading prepared remarks instead of saying aye during a roll call.
That's an increase of $26 billion for the Department of Defense, and it funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Thank you.
Feinstein, who is 90 years old, has been facing questions about her health for some time. Members of her own party called on her to step down after her nearly 3-month absence recovering from shingles. This incident comes one day after Senate Minority Leader, 81-year-old Republican Mitch McConnell, was escorted away from the podium during a news conference after freezing.
It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it.
Aging is not just a concern on Capitol Hill either. If either President Biden or former President Trump win the 2024 presidential election, they will be the oldest U.S. president in history. According to recent polls, 37% of Democrat and independent voters are less likely to vote for Biden because of his age. So how old is too old to serve the American people? Joining us now is Dr. Imran Ali. He's an assistant clinical professor at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, a physician at Yale New Haven Health, and you specialize in geriatric medicine. Senator Feinstein is the oldest U.S. senator, and she has on several occasions in the past few months, even years actually, appeared confused. Is it fair to ask if she's fully capable of serving in such a powerful role?
Well, the question is valid. We're seeing an older population, and as we see an older population, the concern of mild cognitive impairment, is there. And we know that people with aging
This isn't mild.
No, this is not mild.
Not mild.
Absolutely. But I gotta let people understand that age alone is not an independent factor when it comes to memory loss. Getting old and having memory loss is not completely normal. But such lapses like we saw here does cause some concern. And I wonder if she had a cognitive screen or to understand what kind of maybe potential mild cognitive impairment that she may be experiencing.
Senator McConnell was also out for several weeks after he fell and suffered a concussion. The video of him freezing up yesterday is really difficult to watch. And these are smart, experienced lawmakers, but are they the best people to say unilaterally, I'm fit to serve? Because Senator Feinstein, when told by her own party members that she should step aside, said no. So what I'm asking is, if you are suffering from cognitive decline, dementia perhaps of some kind, or maybe a stroke damage of some kind, are you still the best person to be able to decide I'm fit to serve?
No, because there's something we really look at, a cognitive domain called executive function. Executive function allows you to assimilate information, complex information, to make decisions. And if somebody has cognitive impairment where they lost that executive function, or they have difficulty processing new information, there is some concern for especially very important decisions. We know this from pilots who have a mandatory
age for them to retire.
Yes, but in that case, we're also looking at reaction speed, which we know decreases by 2 to 4 milliseconds every decade.
Well, the average age of the Senate right now is 65. It's the oldest on record. Again, we do want experienced, wise lawmakers, but should there be some sort of mechanism where people are tested to make sure they're cognitively up to speed?
Well, this is debated a lot because there's also a sense of ageism that patients tell me they feel like they're subject to be judged just by their age. But it does make sense in certain cases where the job may be affected by their cognitive abilities, like physicians. Physicians also go a psychological assessment, and there had been some pushback against that. But I think in some positions where your cognitive abilities, the ability to assimilate large amounts of information and to act on them. Executive function, processing speed. I mean, the question does lie that you should, as part of your routine checkup, have a cognitive screening.
In this case, just being aware that you're in a committee hearing and you're just there to vote aye or nay. I mean, it really does raise concerns. And this is the one body that is so old and where we have zero mechanism and no one can force somebody else, at least at this point, to, all right, Doctor, interesting to talk to you. I'm sure there'll be more discussion about it. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.